Hollywood legend and dancing extraordinaire Ann-Margret starred in films like Viva Las Vegas and Carnal Knowledge, and she's still working today at 82 years old, with no plans to retire. But her charmed career hasn't come without its drawbacks. Born on April 28, 1941, Ann-Margret Olsen spent her early years in her native Sweden. Her father, Carl Gustaf, worried about moving his daughter and her mother, Anna, to the United States amidst the hazards of war. The family was reunited when Anne moved to the US to join her father in 1946. But living in a new country came with challenges. Not only had the move uprooted her life, but she was also in a country where she didn't speak the language. The future actress told the Chicago Tribune, "I just studied harder because I didn't want to seem different from anyone else. What happened because of that? I actually won a few spelling bees." Even though she learned to acclimate to her new life, Ann-Margret never lost touch with her Swedish roots, telling Wanderlust, "Of course I identify as Swedish. Of course."
Sweden is Ann-Margret Olsen. That's the name of the special tomorrow.
Ja då. Det är mitt namn. That's my name.
While Ann-Margret never served in the military, she still found herself caught in a crossfire during the Vietnam War. She performed with the USO for American troops stationed in Vietnam in 1966 and 1968. She embarked on her first tour in Vietnam after soldiers signed a petition asking her to come. In her autobiography, My Story, she wrote that she regarded the trip as a moral responsibility, something I owed to the soldiers and to America. Nothing could deter me. While touring different locations in Vietnam, she often performed to the sound of gunfire in the background. On one occasion, she was flying in a helicopter when battle broke out beneath her. Anne recounted feeling protected by soldiers who formed a human shield around her. She told the USO, "For anybody who has been in combat, we will never know what they have seen and heard. All I do is sing, dance, and act. That's it. They're the ones making all the sacrifices and are incredible patriots." Ann-Margret has suffered more than one severe accident over the years. Perhaps the most famous accident was her 1972 fall from a 22-foot platform at a Lake Tahoe casino. She was supposed to descend to the stage from the platform, but the setup was changed unexpectedly, leaving the platform unstable. Anne suffered a number of injuries and spent 3 days in a coma. She wrote in My Story, "My face was collapsed and swollen beyond recognition. Numerous bones in my face were either broken or fractured. My jaw was broken in 2 places. My left arm was broken." But the dancer pulled through and her career was unharmed. Anne returned to performing just a few months later. She also managed to avoid severe facial scarring because her husband, who stole a plane when a commercial flight wasn't available to get to his wife quickly, pushed for an experimental procedure. Ann-Margret suffered yet another severe accident on the set of the 1975 musical Tommy. The surreal film, based on a rock opera by The Who, features Ann-Margret singing and dancing. One memorable sequence shows her shattering a champagne bottle against a TV screen, releasing a flood of bubbles that soon turns into a torrent of baked beans. The scene was messy to film and took a full day of shooting, but having to smell beans for hours wasn't the worst of it. Anne suffered an injury during the scene that resulted in her needing 27 stitches in her arm. She said in an interview with George Hamilton, "In the scene, I'm just going crazy and whacking my way through these bubbles, and then suddenly I hit something. They had taken away all of the glass and the props, but they had forgotten about the glass in the TV set." But Anne went back to filming the following day and hid her injured arm behind a desk while filming the rest of the movie. She told The Hollywood Reporter, "It was quite an experience, and I'm proud of the work that I did." While many people are familiar with the truth about Elvis and Priscilla Presley's relationship, the details of the relationship between Elvis and Ann-Margret aren't as widely known. Part of that is Anne's doing, as she was reluctant to divulge details about their connection. When asked about Albert Goldman's 1981 biography, Elvis, which criticised everything from the singer's vocal skills to his romantic life, Ann-Margret told Roger Ebert, "I absolutely refuse to discuss the subject. I find that book disgusting."
There's been so much written that has been negative about him. I wanted to celebrate his life.
The pair were involved for a year, falling for each other on the set of Viva Las Vegas. Ann-Margret later wrote in My Story, "We both felt a current, an electricity that went through us. It would become a force we couldn't control." While things didn't work out, Presley was involved with Priscilla at the time, which Ann-Margret hinted that it led her to break things off. Their flame was never fully extinguished. Presley continued to send flowers to Ann-Margret until his death in 1977. Anne attended his funeral and even visited his father, Vernon, after some time had passed. She wrote in her memoir, "I will never recover from Elvis's death. He is a part of me. It's rare to have such a friend as Elvis, rare to have such a soulmate." Ann-Margret moved on from her heartbreak over her split from Elvis Presley, marrying fellow actor Roger Smith in 1967. She was 26 and he was 34. Smith, who starred in the TV show 77 Sunset Strip, never reached Ann-Margret's level of fame, but he was happy to manage her career. The two were deeply in love. Ann-Margret told the New York Times, "The man that I married is the man I knew I was going to marry on the third date." Their life took a difficult turn in the 80s when Smith was diagnosed with myasthenia gravis, a condition that affects nerve impulses. Anne threw herself into caring for her husband and said that the experience changed her. She wrote in her autobiography, "The dependent, shy Ann-Margret slipped away by necessity, and a confident and competent woman came in her place." Smith eventually went into remission, and the two spent many more happy years together. Ann-Margret was very close to her parents, even dropping her last name, Olsen, at the start of her career in order to preemptively keep them out of the spotlight. She told CBS Sunday Morning, "I really wanted to protect them from any bad news about me, anything bad that was said." Her father, Carl Olsen, died in 1973 from cancer, and it came as a rough blow to the Hollywood star. She told The Hollywood Reporter, "I was his only child, and he was my protector." She also shared a special bond with her mother, Anna Olsen, who died in 2001 at the age of 82. Ann-Margret was so distraught that she delayed the recording of her gospel album, God is Love, the Gospel Sessions. When she did head to the studio, her mother was on her mind. She told the Los Angeles Times, "My mother was so excited about it and so interested in the album, so it made me feel good to honour her with it." But Anne's belief in an afterlife keeps her going through grief. She told CBN, "If I thought that I would never see my mother and father again, I couldn't make it. I could not go a step further." Ann-Margret dealt with addiction issues throughout the 1970s. She told Roger Ebert, "The easy thing in Hollywood is to tune out, to drink and use drugs." Anne's substance abuse was triggered by many things, among them her 1972 fall and her father's death. Over the years, she began to drink more and also abuse sleeping pills. After seeking treatment, Anne became sober in 1980 and didn't look back. But she explained that it doesn't mean recovery has always been easy. She revealed to CBN's Scott Ross, "You never really overcome it, but I dealt with it." In spite of the fact that Ann-Margret suffered such horrifying accidents early on in her career, she's still something of a thrill seeker. In 2000, she broke several ribs and a shoulder in a motorcycle accident. She explained on Larry King Live, "There are two types of motorcycle riders, ones who've had an accident and ones who will." She remained unfazed and is still an avid motorcycle devotee decades after her 2000 fall.
I only had like a little putt-putt that a nice gentleman had given me, and I just love that thing.
Ann-Margret's ability to keep going no matter the circumstances speaks to her tireless work ethic. She told Vanity Fair, "I'm just gonna get up on that bike again. I'm going to get up from whatever happened to me. I will get up and go." Ann-Margret and Roger Smith were married for 50 years. They were, by all accounts, quite happy and devoted to each other. Their long-lasting marriage was a true rarity in Hollywood, where celebrity couplings are often short-lived. She told People, "It's very simple actually, we both want it to work." After spending most of her life with Smith, Anne was devastated after he died in 2017. She found ways to cope, telling Page Six that one thing that kept her going was a weekly dinner with her friends. She also threw herself into her work, which provided a much-needed distraction. She told Closer Weekly, "You're not dead when you reach a certain age. You have to keep living and not sit at home and watch TV alone. You have to participate." Following Smith's death, Anne appeared in several film and television roles, including the TV series The Kominsky Method and the film Queen Bees. But Ann-Margret still remains hopeful in her life and career. A source told Closer Weekly that she lets herself be sad, but also cherishes the years they had together. She believes he is still watching out for her.